It's a week where all eyes are on Nvidia. Earnings reports come out on Wednesday, and it's not just about Nvidia, it's really about the market as a whole. Here to break down the impact this earnings report will have on the market is our MarketBeat analysts, Chris Markoch and Thomas Hughes. Guys, this is a really big week. Why is everyone so focused on this earnings report?
Well, Nvidia is the central theme of the AI revolution and the AI rally we've seen over the last 2 years. It is amongst the most bought, the most owned, highly concentrated stocks in the S&P 500 right now. We need to see a really good report for us to sustain the rally. Without a good report, it's possible the entire market could start to fall. Um, so that's the concern.
We've really been rallying all summer. Chris, do you think Nvidia's last earning report really had an impact on that summer rally?
When Nvidia reported earnings back in May, Nvidia's stock went up immediately after the report, but the market didn't really chase after Nvidia. It kind of was chopping along. Um, what I think is really driving the overall market performance right now is clearly the fact that the Federal Reserve is going to be lowering interest rates. Uh, Jerome Powell made that very clear in the Jackson Hole speech he gave on Friday. A 25 basis point cut is coming in September. The market might like it to be 50, but they know it's going to be 25. That's why the market really shot higher on Friday. I think that probably has more to do in the short term with what the market performance is going to be. That's not to say Nvidia is not important for all the reasons that Thomas said, but I think right now that the market has other things they're concentrating on. The price of oil, actually, this morning being one of them. So I think it's going to be interesting to see Nvidia. I don't know if Nvidia actually impacts the broader market as much as we might think.
Well, it's only been maybe a year or so since Nvidia has really been leading the market the way it has been in such a big way with all of the big growth. Thomas, can you walk us through past earnings reports for Nvidia? When did they really start seeing such impressive growth that the whole market really started to pay attention?
Well, they've been seeing this impressive growth for about 2 years. The story over the last year is that growth accelerated from 100% to over 200%. In that same time, the market's raising their expectations. Nvidia continues to outperform expectations. Now, the trend in results is really ridiculously good. They're not only outperforming the consensus for the current quarter by 500 basis points, but they're raising their guidance by 500 basis points above the consensus. So that's like a double shot of accelerating good news, which is leading the market higher. And right now, there's a very, very high expectation for Nvidia to continue that trend. Just in the last 2 or 3 days, the analysts have increased their estimates, the consensus estimates for revenue and for earnings by like 1,000 basis points. So there really is a high expectation going into this report. It really, really needs to be a blowout report for it to keep the market moving higher.
What does this report coming up mean for AI as in the tech industry as a whole? NVIDIA's really been that leader for at least the last couple of years. What will this earnings report mean for that industry in particular?
Well, it'll tell us if the chip market is still expanding and still in that discovery phase for how big it's going to get. What we're really waiting for now is for the second wave of AI to take hold, which is the companies that actually use AI to produce results for businesses. Um, with NVIDIA as a business, they've expanded from just being a chip pure play into being a full stack AI play. So we should be able to see that in their result. We should be able to see that second wave of AI spending show up in their results as more companies lean into their services to help boost their own AI potential.
Chris, we've heard some talk this summer about the potential of an AI bubble. And are we in a bubble? Are we priced too high for where this industry really is at? What will NVIDIA's report on Wednesday say about the possibility of a bubble or not?
I know some people are using the term AI bubble. I think that's because there's a lot of people that just don't know where we're at in the AI cycle. And I can't say for sure I know where we're at, but I would say I think we're still closer to the beginning of the cycle than we are the end. And probably even but I think we're also closer to the middle of that cycle where now investors want to see what companies are going to do with AI other than just say, okay, we're using generative AI as a chatbot, or we're going to use generative AI as this. That sort of is the table stakes. Now they want to see what are companies going to be doing that are going to actually be changing the way these companies make decisions, that are going to be leading to efficiencies within corporations. And we haven't seen that yet, which doesn't mean it's not coming, but it just, I think that's where a lot of the uncertainty is just exactly where we are with AI.
All right, so let's talk about Blackwell now. This is another announcement that everyone is really waiting on and watching closely. Nvidia is kind of known for making these really big announcements at earnings time. Are we expecting anything like that this time around, Thomas?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I think right now the story with Blackwell is the potential for delays. Now, I don't think that's a big problem for Nvidia per se, unless, of course, AMD is able to get its next gen chip to market first. And in that scenario, that would supercharge the market share gain potential for AMD, and then that stock would probably take off like a rocket.
It's a lot for every industry to be watching right now. And really, everyone is watching and waiting for this NVIDIA earnings report. Just one more time, let's go over again. Why are so many eyes on this right now? Why can you find hundreds of articles and videos all talking about what is coming up with this NVIDIA earnings report?
Well, NVIDIA with AI has sparked a new evolution in technology that's going to be worth hundreds of billions of dollars over time. Now, over the last 2 years, NVIDIA has pretty much been the sole recipient of all of the spending, all the goodness. It's doubled its size more than once in the last 2 years. It's doubled last year, doubled this year, and we're expecting that again. So it's the stock, almost everybody owns it, if not specifically as an individual holding, then in a fund or an ETF. So it's got an impact on everybody's portfolio.
That's a lot for everyone to be watching. And of course, we will be watching NVIDIA earnings report this Wednesday right here on MarketBeat. Happy investing, everyone.